Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday, that means it's countdown day. All the votes, man, they have been counted, they've been tallied, they've been brought together, they've been collected, and we have the results for the top 10 Transformers that turn into military vehicles. That's going to be our focus this time around on the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe while you're at it, light them up, baby, and hit that notification bell. It helps me out a ton and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, of course, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. And this is the top 10 Transformers characters who turn into military vehicles. And it was wide open to military vehicles. Now, disclaimer. If you're here thinking that I'm going to be able to tell you makes and models of things, I won't. I don't know anything about it. Like it's a plane, you know, like Starscream is a plane, for example. He's a F something, 15, 16, 22, I don't know. I don't know like the details quite that specific, and that's not really what I was looking for. I was just looking for the characters who turned to military vehicles and the first ones that came to people's minds. This was an interesting round of voting. It was certainly fast and furious. Absolutely. Of course, as we always do, we're going to start with our honorable mentions first. There are 6. 3 of them had the same number of votes. Sorry, 2 of them had the same number of votes, and 4 of them had the same number of votes. So, looking at our honorable mentions first, we have Cybertron Defense Hotshot. No, I take that back. Cybertron Defense Scattershot, as well as Roadbuster. They had the same amount of votes. And then, also with the same amount of votes, we had Armada Megatron, specifically Armada Megatron, Bludgeon, Bulkhead, the animated version of Bulkhead no less, and Bruticus. Now, people voted for Bruticus, and I took the votes, and I said I didn't think he was going to make the list. I didn't think he'd get this close to making the list, honestly. But like, I look at Bruticus and I think he's made up of characters who individually, the component parts, turn into the military vehicles. So, like, I counted it, but I thought it was a bit of an iffy gray area there. So there you go. That's the honorable mention. So who actually did make the list? Well, you know what we're going to do, baby. We're going to kick things off with number 10 first. And number 10 takes us to G2 with Megatron. And we all know that going right back to the very humble beginnings of this weird color scheme, we had Megatron, when he was released in G2, automatically get a new alt mode, and that alt mode was a tank. It was still very fitting to the character, and it still lended itself to his giant cannon, though it went on his shoulder this time more than on his arm. By the way, this is a custom piece that's added to the back that my buddy Grimlock Gon provided to allow this to go over his shoulder. So, yeah, the originator of Megatron as a tank is G2 Megatron, and he came in at the number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9, we have the War for Cybertron version of Megatron. This is the Siege version, of course, that turns into a tank. And people just said the War for Cybertron version. I counted it as the Siege. Maybe they meant the Earthrise. I don't know, because they didn't specify. A couple of shout-outs here. I just want to give a shout-out to a tank vote for the Combiner Wars version of Megatron, as well as the Devastation video game version of Megatron, and a couple of others. So, yeah, I mean, I could have counted all of the tank Megatrons as one, but there's so many unique variations on that character with that alt mode that I actually kept them separate this time around, which is why the G2 version came in at number 10, and the War for Cybertron version comes in at number 9. And now we're at number 8, and number 8 sticks with the tank motif and Brawl. To be fair, a few people, when they voted for Brawl, voted for the movie-verse version of Brawl. Most people voted for G1 Brawl, so I did throw the movie-verse version votes in. There were a handful of those in with this guy, just to kind of put him over the top so he'd make the list, because, you know what, I absolutely think Brawl, whether it's the movie version or the G1 version, definitely deserved to be on this list, He has always been and probably always will be a tank, and that fits the bill for me for this list, and he takes the number 8 slot. Coming in at number 7 is a rare Autobot tank by way of Double Dealer. I didn't expect Double Dealer, I bet. Yeah, Double Dealer's tank mode, I believe, is supposed to be his like Autobot mode. I think the Eagle or Bird or whatever it is, Falcon, I don't know, is supposed to be the Decepticon mode, and then the Robot I think is the in-between mode, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. Maybe the tank is the in-between mode. I don't know. Either way, this guy turns to, it's not even really a tank, it's more like a missile truck, though the Generations version turned into a tank. Whether you see him as a tank, or whether you see him as like this missile truck, any way you cut it, it is something militaristic, and for that reason, good old Double Dealer takes the number 7 slot. And now at number 6, we go to the Movieverse and Blackout. Oddly, Grindor didn't get any votes. Blackout got a ton. A lot of people said, look, just from his first appearance, that woo, 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 and then when he transforms and he obliterates everything in his sight, yeah, Blackout made a lasting impression right away. One that has endured and stuck with fans through the years, enough that he was able to take the number 6 slot. By the way, I do love his helicopter mode. And here we are once again, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, to the most coveted of locations on these lists, the halfway mark. And at the halfway mark we have one that I think is probably somewhat quintessential when it comes to militaristic alt modes, one that a lot of people think of right away, and one that I was given a general group name, and then I would ask for clarification. I need a specific character name. I always need specific character names, and while this guy had a ton of votes in and of himself, when I would ask for the clarification, he got even more. I'm talking about the Seeker known as Starscream, and I'm pretty sure Starscream turns into an F-15? I think. I'm not sure. But we all know that Starscream's alt mode, whether you want to go Cybertronian with a Tetrajet being a militaristic Cybertronian jet, or whether you want to go with his Earth alt mode, which is a fighter jet, any way you cut it, Starscream was bound to be on this. The Seekers, any Seeker could be slotted in here. It just so happened to be Starscream. They all have modes that would fit the bill here, and I think it makes perfect sense that our boy here came in at the halfway mark. Coming in at number 4, did anybody say Army Jeep by way of Swindle? Now, Swindle is often a Jeep, a militaristic Jeep, whether it's in animated or whether it's in Combiner Wars or whether it's in G1. We see Swindle and we know that the guy has like a big cannon on him and that he's a Jeep and that he's an Army Jeep, right? I mean, he's an Army Jeep. He might not be your traditional green color, but he's an Army Jeep. I get it. I agree. And for that reason, he takes the number 4 slot. Coming in at number 3, I don't even know what you would call this vehicle mode. It's like an armored transport double-barreled cannon. I'm sure there's a name on it. It's Onslaught or Mega Octane. I took a handful of votes for Mega Octane and I lumped them in here with Onslaught because I thought, you know what? Onslaught was going to take this position by himself anyway, but I felt like Mega Octane had enough support that he deserved to, get his own mention. And Mega Octane by himself would have made the honorable mentions. But you know what? We try and fit as many as we can in here, so why not throw Mega Octane in with Onslaught? Whether you voted for Mega Octane, whether you voted for Onslaught, any way you cut it, he takes the number 3 slot. Here we are at number 2, and bam! Kazowie! Pow! We have a good old Warpath. How could Warpath not be on this? Not only is something militaristic in his name, but the guy turns into a tank. One of the earliest militaristic characters, honestly, going all the way back to G1. And anytime we've had a version of Warpath, he always turns into a tank. Why? Because he got to. Because his most iconic feature is his turret on his chest. In fact, when we have had a deviation from that, it was a version that sort of failed miserably. Looking at you, Combiner Wars Warpath. Yeah, Warpath, number 2. I'm surprised he didn't make number 1, but I'm not surprised that he made it on the list. And here we are, at long last, number 1. And who made number 1? None other than Hound. Going right back, perhaps the earliest of all characters to have any sort of a military mode. His, of course, is an Army Jeep. No doubt about it. I was so happy to see this. Now, there was about 4 or 5 votes that came in for the movie version, I guess Age of Extinction last night version of Hound. So I did kind of tack them on here. The guy won number one far and away with votes that, you know, it was a landslide victory for Hound. Why not throw the last couple from the last night AOE version in here? Because you know what? For some people, that's their Hound. It's not me. This is my Hound, right? G1 is my Hound. But I respect that some people immediately thought of the Movieverse Hound. Whether yours is Movieverse or whether yours is G1, either way, Hound takes the number one slot. 10 down to 1. One more time, baby. We have done another one in the books. I really thought, honestly, that we were going to have one of the tanks, maybe Megatron or something, take the lead. I did not think it was going to be Hound. Speaking of people that got votes or characters that got votes that haven't been mentioned thus far, we had Overlord. He got some votes. Roadbuster got some votes. I don't know if I mentioned him already or not. Viper got a couple of votes. Powerglide got some votes. Battle Slash, Flywheels got some votes. Banzaitron and Bludgeon. I think I might have said Bludgeon, I'm not sure, but Banzaitron as well. Dangar. Now, I think that's the, like, partner of Mega Octane, if I'm not mistaken, from Car Robots. That's really like the Desert Camo version of Brawl. I think that's who that is. Omega Supreme got some votes. Cybertron Defense Hotshot, as well as Cybertron Defense Red Alert. Who else? AoE Drift, because of his helicopter mode, got some votes. Animated Ultra Magnus. Skydive. Revenge of the Fallen Mindwipe, and Stealth Bomber Megatron. All of them and more. It was fun to see the people get so involved, to see the fans get so involved in this round of voting. Did your favorites make the list or not? I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. And especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.